Hello, my name is Kyle Gupton. I'm a Director of Product Management at Tableau Software. In this video, I'll show a case study of taking an existing Tableau dashboard and making it more accessible for people with disabilities by applying best practices derived from the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, or WCAG. We'll start with this dashboard, which is an example that used to ship with Tableau. It shows the SAT performance of students admitted to a hypothetical university. The line chart at the top shows the percentage of students with scores in each decile by college within the university. The histogram at the bottom shows the distribution of SAT scores by student gender. The dashboard has color legends for the highlighting of data for each college and gender, and a filter to change the year of the data displayed. Now, what accessibility issues does this dashboard have? Well, the first issue is that the marks in both charts are distinguishable only by color. This will make it challenging, if not impossible, for people with color blindness to distinguish the marks from one another. Next, the contrast ratio between the foreground and background colors of the text is too low in some cases. People with a visual contrast sensitivity loss may have difficulty reading the text. There is even the particularly egregious example of yellow text on a light gray background. I think most people will have trouble with that one. Finally, the dashboard really needs more instructions, descriptions, and captions to make it more self-explanatory and easier to understand. So I took this dashboard and reworked it using the accessibility best practices documented in the Tableau Desktop help to make it more accessible. The resulting dashboard looks like this. Let's look at all of the changes I made. First, I used the foreground and background color for the text that meets the minimum contrast guideline that the WCAG specifies. Since the default text color in Tableau against a white background meets the guideline, I just used that. Next, I switched to accessible filters. In Tableau 2018.1, these are the list and drop-down list filters. They are compatible with assistive technologies like screen readers and are fully operable using only the keyboard. I then added a text object with a description of the dashboard and instructions for how to use the filters and categorical legends. Captions that describe the charts are also very helpful for understanding what they display, so I added those as well. I also made sure that the titles of the filters indicate their function and that the instructions refer to the filters by their exact titles. And to make sure that the user knows which legends go with which chart, I gave them titles that make the relationships clear. To make sure there is a way other than color to distinguish the marks from one another, I used shape marks encoded with color. For the line chart, I used a dual axis to add these colored shape marks to the lines. For the histogram, the marks are encoded with both shape and color. And although this practice doesn't satisfy the WCAG requirement, I used the built-in colorblind color palette for all of the marks. This will make the charts easier to use for the large percentage of the population with red-green color blindness. Last but not least, I simplified the text in the filter and legends for the academic divisions to remove redundant text. Minimizing unnecessary text is very helpful for screen reader users, as it's easy to become overwhelmed by the sheer volume of text that is read. The resulting dashboard is much more accessible. It resolves issues with color and contrast and is operable using only the keyboard. It's also compatible with assistive technologies like screen readers. In the next video, I'll demonstrate using a screen reader and only the keyboard to interact with this dashboard.